Right, folks, as you're aware, unless you're living under a rock or on Mars, the offices of satirical French magazine Charlie Hebdo were attacked by Islamist radicals. A bunch of people were shot and killed, including several cartoonists and also the editor of the magazine. Now, it was only a matter of time before the kind of intellectualist, contrarian argument came out of the woodwork that, you know, Charlie Hebdo was asking for it and has to take some blame for the backlash. Unfortunately, one of the people to criticise Charlie Hebdo's decision to publish those particular cartoons is actually Henri Roussel, who was one of the founders of the magazine. He basically said, look, you know, we've been provoking them for long enough, you know, we were kind of asking for this. Now, that's nonsense, okay? You know, I mean, the editor, Charbonnier, literally wasn't even buried, you know, when Henri Roussel made these comments, you know. So a little bit disrespectful, but, you know, he's an old, you know, half-mental cartoonist. He's 80 years old, fair enough. You know, thankfully, organised religion, you know, as usual, was there to offer kind of sound support and sanity, really, when the world needs it. You know, the Roman Catholic Church is always a proponent of sanity. Pope Francis's statement, I'll read it for you. If my good friend Dr. Gaspari says a curse word against my mother, he can expect a punch. It's normal. It's normal. You cannot provoke. You cannot insult the faith of others. You cannot make fun of the faith of others. There is a limit. Every religion has its dignity. In freedom of expression, there are limits. That's our glorious Pope speaking there. I mean, yeah, you know, you're right. Firstly, the Pope talking about punching people, it's kind of interesting in itself. But the thing that struck me about that statement, I mean, it's taken me literally 2 days to calm down. I mean, I've been boiling. Is that the Pope has just used the same justification as rapists and wife beaters the world over. You know, when people say, oh, I'm not saying rape's right, but, you know, she shouldn't have drunk that much alcohol. What? I'm not saying she deserved to be raped. Of course she didn't deserve to be raped, but, you know, her skirt was very revealing. What the fuck? No, you don't deserve to be raped. You could be walking around naked, completely pissed out of your head. You do not deserve to be raped. Of course I punched my wife in the face. She was asking for it. I love her, but she was asking for it. She should have shut up. She should have shut up. She made me do it. Shut up. The hell? You know, when people come out with those kind of arguments, we rightfully step all over them and say, look, no woman or man deserves to be beaten or raped, regardless of the way they were carrying on. It's never acceptable to beat a woman or rape someone, okay? There are never any mitigating circumstances. And saying, oh, well, she shouldn't have worn such revealing clothing, is basically like saying, yeah, she's partially to blame. And the Pope, you know, has come out and said, look, I'm not saying Charbonnier et al. Deserve to die. I'm not saying that at all. They shouldn't have died, you know, but his statement was very clear. Let me just read it to you again. If my good friend Dr. Gaspari says a curse word against my mother, he can expect a punch. It's normal. It's normal. You cannot provoke. You cannot insult the faith of others. You cannot make fun of the faith of others. There is a limit. Every religion has its dignity. In freedom of expression, there are limits. I mean, that's very clear. And, you know, the Pope, firstly, you know, he demonstrates that he doesn't understand the basics of what make a free and fair and prosperous society possible. I mean, he's got such a medieval mindset, a pre-Enlightenment mindset. He doesn't grasp that actually freedom of speech is exactly that, my friend. And, you know, yes, we do have a right to make fun of people's religions and people's belief systems, yeah? Okay. I mean, where does it stop? Wodenism, you know, Scientology, where does the fun and games stop? You know, it is ridiculous. I mean, it's so idiotic on so many levels. I mean, it's just unbelievable. And the second thing, yeah, he offers extenuating circumstances to Islamic terrorists. And what makes me so mad is, yes, thankfully, the British media have mostly stood up and said, Mr. Pope, you're talking rubbish. But it doesn't matter what the Pope says. The Pope could say anything. He comes out with disgusting comments like this. You know, he's shown himself to be really a despicable person and frankly a morally vacuous idiot in his statement. You know, this is supposed to be the heir of Peter. This is supposed to be Jesus Christ representative on earth, and he's so immoral. He's got less morality than the average guy down the pub. What is wrong with this man? You know, absolute idiot. And yet, you know, the mud doesn't stick. He kisses a deformed man once or twice, and guess what? Apparently he's perfect. Fucking disgusting. The Pope should know better. He lets down the entire... Well, he's a perfect representative of the Catholic Church, really, isn't he? You know, but he lets down mankind, really, when he comes out with such disgusting gibberish. And it's good. I'm glad he said that, though, because it's fired me up a bit. You know, just when my secular fire was maybe dying down a bit. Yeah, we need secularism and we need a secular society, and us secularists need to fight for that. Us rationalists need to fight for a rational society, because any time any religious person, particularly, I mean, organised religions, I mean, you know, get involved in anything, they talk nonsense. The Pope clearly doesn't understand democracy. He clearly doesn't understand freedom of speech. I'll say what I said again earlier. I didn't mean that, you know, I wasn't just saying that flying off the handle. He is a morally vacuous idiot, you know, absolute scumbag. And his comments are so outrageous and disgusting. They are exactly the same as saying a rape victim shouldn't have dressed so provocatively. You know what, Mr. Pope? Fuck off.